Sophie *, let me know, Georgina. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me directly. I'm transparent. Sophie couldn't sleep that night. She sensed that Georgina's stance remained unchanged, and her own nature compelled her to reach out again. With good intentions, she messaged Georgina the next morning. Sophie *, hi Georgina, I've been talking with Con about what you said, and that you didn't make the decision to ban him from Chili's, but it was other foreigners, not including Sharon. Con feels he has the right to know who the other foreigners are who are not happy with his behavior and initiated the ban. Con would like the names, as he wants to believe you are telling the truth, and he will talk with them one by one to check. But the reality is nobody talked to him like this before, and this time like this was an attack which surprised him. Con feels like you are ganging together to eliminate his image and personality. Sophie, driven by her innate desire for peace, continued to express her concerns. Sophie *, Con said you banned him personally, but now you mention other foreigners. Con said he understands you very well and you are making one fault after another to keep damaging his image. Con will protect himself any way he can if these points are taken further, he doesn't let things go. She appealed to Georgina's sense of empathy and understanding, as well as her own experiences with growth, through apologies. Sophie * Georgina, as a person who knows you very well and considered you a friend, and I believe you know me very well and understand my personality as an advocate for peace, I'm trying to help you and resolve this issue peacefully. Con, as a neighbor, also wants to help you, he, like me, wants peace. And to my simple understanding, this can easily be resolved by amicably saying sorry and letting it go and leave each other in peace. She encouraged Georgina to reflect on her own journey of self-improvement. Sophie *, I have empathy and understanding for you as I had to face myself and say sorry to a few people in my life. I also said sorry for your behavior as a friend to protect you. This allowed me to learn and continue my personal growth. I hope you can do the same. Again, you are always welcome to come and talk with me directly if you want to get something off your chest. Sophie's efforts, however, received a response filled with anger from Georgina. Georgina *, I have had nothing to do with Con in months. I haven't talked about him or discussed him. Out of the blue, he starts drunk texting my fucking husband at 2:00 hours. He is libeling me to my fucking husband. And that's my fault? I'm supposed to apologize to him. No. He can apologize to me for his drunken behavior. If Con wants peace, he will leave my family and me alone. If he persists, it will end in a legal complaint. Undeterred by the initial response, Sophie continued to mediate between the two parties. Sophie *, hi Georgina, Con apologizes for disturbing Lau. It wasn't his intention to bother him or any of your family. He couldn't sleep with this topic on his mind, he hoped that it wouldn't disturb Lau and he would read it in the morning. But Con wanted to resolve this issue with you, and the only way Con could think to get you talking was through your husband, Lau. Georgina, now that you are talking, it's a good start to resolving this simple issue. She emphasized the importance of face-to-face communication. Sophie * Con welcomes you to talk face-to-face as gentlemen and resolve this issue. He knows you are an intelligent woman, and he believes finally you will understand him. Con thinks this is your karma, and you need to make these kinds of faults to learn and grow. Con just wants to clean up any animosity quickly, as he's busy with his new factory expansion and expanding his brand internationally. I'm working with him closely and understand how well he's doing. I'm very proud of him. I hope you can understand, we don't consider you a bad person. I want to help you also have peace. Sophie sought a peaceful resolution for the sake of the community. Sophie * Georgina, I'm focused on business at this moment, I have a new family to prepare for. I don't have time for drama. Drama is just like a mosquito noise to me. I'm focused on opportunities and innovation in the world economy. If you want to come and talk world trade winds, then my partners are begging me to meet you. You're an intelligent woman, my friend, I learned so much from you and still consider you a friend. Sophie concluded her message with a plea for peace and reconciliation. Sophie *, I hope someday we can sit together and have a beer and talk about all our faults over the years and tell each other how grateful we are because of them. As long as we keep our bag of dreams close and understand that understanding is the solution, we will have a happy life. No schoolgirl dramas. Let's have peace, Georgina, and enjoy our life in the community and help the friendly people here with international strategies that can raise their GDP. Sophie wondered if Georgina would ever read the books that Khan and herself had written, which she mentioned in her final message. Both books focused on self-discovery, empathy, and understanding. With these words sent, Sophie shifted her focus back to her pressing business commitments, hoping that, somehow, peace could be restored in their community. The moon was full, while driving back to home, and Sophie was drained from the back-and-forth communications in her quest for peace with Georgina. She drifted into a deep sleep, and once again, Sophie found herself in another vivid dream, one that painted a striking picture of her ongoing battle against Georgina's narcissism. In this dream, Sophie stood at the center of a grand courtroom, a symbol of justice and accountability. The room was filled with people, each representing different facets of her life. To one side, Khan stood resolute, a symbol of strength and determination. He was flanked by others who had been affected by Georgina's behavior, their faces etched with resolve. On the other side of the courtroom, Georgina sat, an aura of defiance surrounding her. There was a sense of superiority in her posture, and her eyes betrayed a deep belief in her infallibility. As Sophie looked around the room, she saw lawyers who specialized in narcissism, their expertise evident in the way they approached the case. They were armed with knowledge and empathy, ready to expose the true nature of narcissistic behavior. The proceedings began, and Sophie watched as each person affected by Georgina's actions took the stand. They shared their stories, their voices unwavering, their accounts painting a compelling narrative of manipulation, control, and the lasting impact of narcissism. Sophie herself took the stand, her voice steady as she recounted the events that had led to this moment. She spoke of her friendship with Georgina, the moments of trust, and the painful betrayals. Her words resonated with those in the courtroom, and the weight of the truth hung heavy in the air. The lawyers meticulously dissected Georgina's behavior, revealing the classic patterns of narcissism that had caused so much pain. They presented evidence of her actions, highlighting the harm she had inflicted on others. As the dream courtroom drama unfolded, Sophie envisioned a powerful moment of reckoning. Georgina, once unyielding in her defiance, began to falter. The walls of her narcissistic facade crumbled, revealing a vulnerable and wounded individual beneath. In this dream, justice prevailed. Georgina was held accountable for her actions, and the courtroom's verdict was a resounding condemnation of narcissism's destructive power. The scene shifted seamlessly. Sophie now found herself in an expansive and beautifully lit space. It was her factory expansion event, a momentous occasion that marked a new chapter in her professional life, but in this dream, it was all interconnected. Amidst the bustling crowd and the buzz of excitement, Sophie couldn't shake the feeling that the final confrontation with Georgina was imminent. She knew that this event was not only about her business expansion, but also about confronting the narcissistic influence that had cast a shadow over her life since her first divorce. As Sophie delivered her speech about the expansion project and her AI technology systems, she spotted Georgina in the audience. Her former friend and mentor wore a veneer of composure, but Sophie could see the tension in her eyes. As she concluded her speech and made her way through the crowd, Georgina intercepted her, their eyes locking in a silent battle of wills. Sophie *, firmly, Georgina, we need to talk. Georgina *, defiantly, talk about what, Sophie? I have nothing to say to you. But Sophie was resolute, she knew that this confrontation was a necessary step towards resolution. Sophie *, steadfastly, we need to address the pain you've caused, Georgina. It's time to acknowledge the harm you've done and say sorry to the people you have hurt. The tension in the air was palpable as Sophie and Georgina engaged in a private conversation amidst the bustling event. Their voices were low, but their words carried the weight of truth and accountability. In the midst of their discussions, seemingly out of nowhere, a flying monkey in the shape of Georgina's heavily built bodyguard descended upon Sophie. The creature, with swift and frenzied movements reminiscent of Krav Maga techniques, launched a flurry of attacks at Sophie. Sophie, caught off guard, tried to defend herself, but the onslaught was relentless. A KO punch from the flying monkey struck Sophie in the face, and she jolted awake with a start. Her heart was racing, and she was drenched in sweat. Gasping for breath, Sophie realized that this wasn't just a typical dream, it seemed to be a warning, a peek into possible outcomes if she didn't address the ongoing conflict with Georgina. Sophie, still shaken by the vividness of the dream, got out of bed and made her way to the balcony. There, she lit a cigarette and gazed up at the night sky. In the quiet solitude of the night, Sophie whispered a simple prayer to the universe. Sophie * universe, please, no more strange surprises. I'll do my best to stay positive and peaceful. Just keep the drama away from me, okay? Sophie knew she needed to delve deeper into her history with Georgina. The tumultuous relationship that had once been so important now lay in fragments, waiting to be examined. She rummaged through her IoT drawer once more and retrieved her old iPhone. But as fate would have it, the device presented her with password issues that tested her patience. Hours slipped by as Sophie attempted various combinations, her frustration mounting. Each failed attempt felt like a brick wall between her and her past. It was only in the presence of Khan, whose unwavering support provided a glimmer of hope, that the phone finally blinked to life. Sophie's first search was for Georgina. She read out loud the threatening messages she had received from her former friend. As she recounted the hurtful words, Sophie remained impassive and compliant. Georgina's venom had left a lasting impression on her, and this time, Georgina had left her alone, until the recent ban from the restaurant. The ban had stung deeply, not just for Sophie, but for everyone who couldn't fathom the reason behind it. Georgina's explanation had been cryptic, merely stating, "We have no friendship." Sophie couldn't decipher the meaning behind those words. To her, she had always considered herself a friend, despite the twists and turns their relationship had taken. Sophie continued scrolling through her iPhone's messages and stumbled upon a conversation from 2 years prior. Sophie had messaged, "By the way, I'd really like to sell your AI product through my network." Georgina had responded with, "Well, it will be ready by the end of this year." Georgina's reply had contained a narcissistic comment, "I enjoyed the chat, but was half asleep, sorry about that." These messages brought Sophie back to reality, jolting her from the surreal world of her past experiences. She quickly backed up all the messages exchanged between Georgina and Khan, sending them to her email for safekeeping. With the drama that could potentially unfold involving lawyers and other parties now behind her, Sophie turned her focus to the pressing matter at hand, the upcoming party on the 18th of this month and 18th of next month. She had a mere 10 days to prepare, and tomorrow marked the arrival of the new office space Sophie had acquired. In the midst of all the chaos, there was one more important thing to focus on, Lee and the prospect of creating a home together, starting with making avocado sandwiches. With a final exhale of her cigarette, Sophie pressed the send button, releasing her worries into the night air. She hoped that her plea to the universe would be heard, and that her life would be spared from such tumultuous encounters in the future. Standing on the balcony, Sophie found solace in the tranquility of the night. It was a stark contrast to the chaos that had dominated her dreams and her past. She looked around at her new home with Lee and couldn't help but smile. Deciding to take a walk in the evening, she could already smell the approaching typhoon in the air. She bought a pack of cigarettes and planned to wait for Lee to finish his Pilates training. Despite the challenges she had faced, Sophie remained hopeful that someday, somehow, she, Georgina, and Khan would find a way to resolve their differences and bring lasting peace to the community. She believed in the transformative power of understanding and empathy, even in the face of the most formidable egos, especially those of entrepreneurs. Sophie saw entrepreneurs as akin to cat personalities, independent, sometimes stubborn, but always worth the effort. Herding this flock of entrepreneurs was never intended by the universe to be easy, but the rewards, she believed, were immeasurable. Thank you for immersing yourself in this chapter of The Bag of Dreams by Jolley. I hope you enjoy the other chapters and can offer support with this creative work of self-discovery, empathy, and understanding. Just a reminder, this is a work of fiction. While the author may have drawn inspiration from various sources, any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is entirely coincidentally improbable if a factor of 2 to the power of 276,709 to 1 against and suggest filing legal complaints to Marvin at the Complaints Department of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation. Disclaimer, according to the Hitchhiker's Guide. Marvin is smart. He's also very annoying. He knows both of these things, and they bother him, but he cannot change either one. Marvin is the coworker you avoid until you absolutely need help with something.